Gentlemen and female gentlemen, we are back on the 40k lore hype train. Everyone's been telling me I needed to do a deep dive into KONRAD KURZE. All right, KONRAD KURZE from Warhammer 40k, one of the Primarchs. I actually know very little about him. I just know that everyone in my chat loves him. So let's see what we got about.
Said by the tacticians throughout the ages of mankind that no plan survives contact with the enemy. I do not waste my time countering the plans of my foes, brother. I never care for what they intend to do.
What does that mean? How do you not care?
They will never be allowed to do it.
Oh, shit.
Stir within their hearts the gift of truest terror.
Wait, what the...
And all their plans are ruined in the desperate struggle, merely to survive.
What the... That's a scary line. Wait, what? He's like Psycho Primarch Batman. Okay. Okay.
The sons of the Emperor would all shoulder a burden during the years of their infancy. Raised on feral, feudal, and even death worlds, each Primarch would be molded by the environment to which he would grow. Yet it cannot be denied the lot of some Primarchs would be starkly worse than others.
True.
For not all the Emperor's offspring would be fostered by kind or benevolent fathers.
That's true. Wasn't Angron raised by like an actual lobotomizer? I don't know, I didn't do the Angron dive yet, but we're doing it. We're covering all lore on this channel. Everything has lore, and I'll cover all of it.
For today, we shall elucidate the creature born of crime, murder, and spite.
Murder? Wait, he was like a bad dude? Wait, all the Primarchs, I thought they were all like super noble until chaos happened. Okay.
The Night Haunter of Nostramo, KONRAD KURZE.
Oh,
of all the Primarchs of his Imperium, the child of the 8th Legion would be raised on the most inhospitable and wretched of worlds. The world of Nostramo would be coated in endless night, its lullabies of the screaming of the murdered, the only solace for the inhabitants of the world. Save in the knowledge that another had died in their place that night, the Nostramans would live in an existence steeped in violence, depravity, and lawlessness. The Primarch of the 8th Legion would descend upon the planet, his gestation pod crashing through its polluted hide of the planet's largest.
Like, so most of them are like brought up on like these random worlds that are kind of mostly empty with like warring clans and living in the wilderness, and they just drop him off in like Gotham City.
Nostramo Quintus. Burrowing through the urban architecture, the gestation pod dived into the planet's crust and halted near the liquid molten core of Nostramo.
Oh, that sucks.
Born into a world of darkness, the infant Primarch would claw his way to the surface, through the scar carved through the adamantium and mineral-rich earth. Reaching the surface, the child would be confronted by a crazed inhabitant of the planet.
Oh my god.
Seeking to consume the child for his ripe.
Bro walks right out into some homeless cannibal. What are we talking about?
Fresh meat. The first act of the child would be to defend himself from the murderous intent of his first contact with humanity. Slaying the would-be cannibal, the child would swiftly come to realize the twisted morality of his planet.
What the fuck?
Nostramo was a world drenched in despair, with no authority or power capable of culling the malevolent and desperate criminals of the planet. Poverty would be rife within the planet's society, with its main productivity derived from the world's mining industry, allowing the tormented populace to eke out a humble existence.
Oh, this place sucks, man.
The minority of the society would grow bloated with wealth and exploit the lawless underhives and their
it's a giant communist slave ship. It's actually just space China. This is insane. Oh my lord. It's unbelievable. This is space Detroit, for real, for real. You have the fucking fat overlord at the top. You have the slaver cannibals at the bottom.
For populated peoples. With no soul on the planet, willing nor capable of adopting the young Primarch, the child would survive alone. His wits and instincts allowing the Primarch to survive off the vermin and carrion of the planet within the darkness.
God damn.
Plagued by visions of a future he did not comprehend, the Primarch would begin to forge an identity befitting his dour and nihilistic existence. the Night Haunter.
Oh shit. Wait, so he actually becomes the Batman in this like actual Gotham City hellscape. Like he actually becomes the Batman. Street kid Primarch Batman.
The feral scavenger of Nostramo would begin to form a reputation among the populace. Sightings of an uncanny presence atop the roofs and slums of Nostramo Quintus would abound, with tales of a monster preying on the most dangerous of society.
Oh damn.
The screams of the Night Haunter's victims are balm to his anxieties, and dreams of countless dead upon unknown worlds, shaping the Primarch's personality.
Wait, so he has like prophetic dreams too? Nah, this dude's a nightmare. Oh my god, this dude's terrifying.
Isolation and nightmares would be his only allies within the shadows
God.
of the abandoned derelicts
That's
to
terrible.
which the Night Haunter would rest. Yet with time, the Primarch of the Eighth would grow in both stature and infamy, until the entire planet knew of his deeds. Disgusted at the criminality of his homeworld, the Night Haunter would hunt the delinquents and felons of the hives.
This dude's awesome.
Consuming
That's
the
crazy.
brain matter of his victims.
Wait, is there like a book for this? I feel like I should read this book at some point. KONRAD KURZE book. KONRAD KURZE, the Night Haunter. That's the book. God damn! It's a novel in the Horus Heresy. That's awesome, man. I feel like I have to read this. This sounds amazing. KONRAD KURZE, just an absolute badass born into the fucking worst place of all time, becomes epic overlord Batman.
The Night Haunter would digest the populace's language, memories and sins due to his homophagia organ, and the Primarch would experience firsthand the depravity and weakness of his people. Sickened at the deeds of his homeworld's people, the Night Haunter would enact his own dark crusade to purge all crime from the planet.
Single-handedly.
Merciless and savage in his dealings,
oh my god, this
the
guy's
Night
amazing!
Haunter would purge the world of swathes of the populace's most revered and notorious criminals. The tales of the avenging spectre of the planet would be hushed by the civilians within the hives, and it would not be long until the gangs of Nostramo would band together to hunt the creature down. Slaying any who would attempt to end his crusade, the Night Haunter would leave a sole survivor of each failed battle. Severing their hands and gouging their eyes, the survivors of his wrath would return to their masters bearing a simple message: I am coming for you.
Okay, alright, so when I said he's like Batman, I was kidding, but like this dude's like actual psycho Batman. He's like, I'm gonna get, oh my god, he's like, I'm gonna actually get this shit done the most effective way possible. He'll walk in there, he'll wipe out a whole family, he'll leave one person without hands and eyes. But with a message, but with a message. No, this is terrifying. Oh my god. This makes the Punisher sound like a pussycat.
Instilling terror within Nostramo,
yeah, no shit.
the Night Haunter would slowly
Dude actually is a vigilante, and he terrorized an entire planet.
And silence the corruption of the ruling elite. Leaving their hanged bodies atop the hive's highest windows, often maimed and flayed in horrific displays. Within a year of his reprisal, crime would cease.
What?
Confronting the rulers of the planet, the Night Haunter...
Bro, Light Yagami with a death note couldn't end crime. But this dude was just so savage and vicious. He ended worldwide crime by terrifying criminals. No, that's crazy.
...would make a simple demand: obey the law of the Night Haunter, or be judged.
Bro.
Cowed by fear, the Nostramans would relent and
guy.
allow for the ascension of the so-called Dark King to rule their world. The first monarch of Nostramo would diligently work to restructure his fiefdom, consuming the planet's historical archival knowledge with ravenous hunger and murdering the last remaining criminal elements within the hives.
Obviously.
It would not be long until the Night Haunter would dominate the populace completely.
2028, baby.
Ruling with temperance, unheard of.
Sorry, JD. Sorry, JD. You've been outvoted. We're taking this guy. We're taking Edgelord Warhammer Batman. We need him.
By Nostraman standards, the civilians would share their wealth equally among themselves.
He's a communist dictator. He's an actual communist dictator. Communist Batman. That's crazy. No wonder why he has no morals and he just tortures people. Like, Batman is the capitalist and he's the communist. It's two sides of the same coin.
for should they own too much, they would fear reprisal from their Dark King. Within
He'd see people earning too much money and he would just brutalize them? God damn.
months, the planet's fortunes would abound.
That's
The
terrible.
fear instilled within them progressively allowing for years of prosperity and industrious toil. Broadcasting the screams of his final victims across every home of the world as a reminder that none would escape his justice, the Dark King had achieved his goal of total obedience. For decades, the Night Haunter would have no need to hunt prey, for none would dare to defy the will of the Dark King. Yet with the arrival of the Emperor of Mankind to the planet, Nostramo's future would be sealed by its own prophecies that the Emperor would cause their downfall. Foreseeing his father's eventual reunion, the Night Haunter would prepare. Upon the Emperor's arrival, the inhabitants of Nostramo would be unable to look in the direction of the being of gleaming light.
God damn.
The so-called Delegation of Light
The
would see the
goats.
populace weep at the arrival of the father of their benevolent dictator, and blind any who looked directly upon his visage. Met by the Primarchs Rogul Dawn, Lorgar Aurelian, Ferrus Manus, and Fulgrim, the Night Haunter
The goats.
would envision dark portents of each of their futures.
Well, he's not wrong, right? They all fall to chaos. Oh my god.
Being the Emperor of Mankind, the Night Haunter would be overwhelmed by a vision so terrible he would sink to his knees and attempt to claw his own eyes from their sockets. Ending his torment with a touch of his hand, the Emperor would utter, "Be at peace, KONRAD KURZE. I have arrived, and I intend to take you home."
God damn. He saw the heresy and he almost killed himself. Dude, this guy's amazing. He's so cool. This is easily one of the coolest Primarchs so far, if not the coolest. I didn't think... I thought he would just be like an edgelord, but this is crazy.
Submitting to the Emperor of Mankind, the Night Haunter would refuse to adopt his supposed name, given by his father. Brought to Holy Terror to study the doctrines of the Legiones Astartes under the tutelage of the Phoenician, Fulgrim,
Boo!
KONRAD KURZE would with time be installed as the leader of his legion.
Sorry, I really don't like Fulgrim. That guy freaks the shit out of me. I really don't like Fulgrim. He's so scary. Ugh.
Naming them the Night Lords, the 8th Legion would quickly become synonymous with brutal and decisive victories.
Such cool armor, though.
A humorless, yet efficient army, the Night Lords would employ torture, terror tactics, and merciless persecution of any dissenting opposition.
Yikes.
Yet with the absence of the Night Haunter, his homeworld of Nostramo would descend once more into rampant criminality with his absence. Claiming the Night Lords to be nothing more than murderers,
obviously.
gifted with the strength of godlike beings, the Nabal of Nostramo would rebel. KONRAD KURZE
Oh,
would
that's not gonna work. Oh, that is so not gonna work, dude. No one expects the KURZE Inquisition. Like, he leaves the planet so the elites take over again, and then he comes back with an army of, like, immortal badasses.
guard his sons in a similar manner, seeing them as unworthy, yet necessary tools
Pretty badass that he uses these power claws. That's pretty awesome.
to bring compliance to the lawlessness of the galaxy. Believing peace could only be achieved through methods of instilling terror within non-compliant
God
worlds,
damn.
the Night Haunter would slay his own legionaries
Bro.
should they delight in the act of mutilation and slaughter for their own personal gratification. Instilling within his legion that such methods were merely tools to achieve peace, KURZE would be disgusted
We must terrify them for peace purposes only. We will hang them by their entrails for peace and love. Oh my god.
at his son's flagrant degeneracy. Bringing worlds into compliance through many atrocities, though his brother Primarchs would decry his methods, KURZE would maintain that his actions,
Bro's gonna hit the red button and call himself the peace president in just a minute. Just a minute.
though harsh,
Why do we need both a North and a South Korea anyway? You know, I don't know, man. Maybe this dude would be a little too kooky.
would allow for the least amount of bloodletting. Hypocritical in his own enjoyment of inflicting pain onto his victims, the Night Lords would only disguise their enjoyment of their craft from their gene father.
Damn.
Their sinister nature left
so it turns out having a giant army of immortal, infinite Nazi soldiers that are just unbeatable and regenerate and shit, and just teach them to instill as much terror as possible might actually turn them into complete fucking evil creatures or something. Or not.
dressed by their Primarch due to the constant harassment of his own visions of the future. The Nostraman recruits to the Night Lords would further exacerbate their Legion's downfall, as each initiate would encompass their homeworld's descent back into delinquency. The rot had been set within the 8th Legion, and with the preponderance of the Legion now born of Nostramo and its culture, the downfall of the Night Haunter would be inevitable.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
Tormented.
He trusted people that he really shouldn't have trusted. Honestly, he was someone that acted immorally, because the ends do not actually justify the means all the time, you know? And he really believed the ends justified the means. No matter how much brutality and terror he sowed, it was worth it for his final goal. And with that in mind, and also him being tortured by his visions, he made some bad calls. Damn, that's so sad.
By visions of betrayal and fratricide, the Night Haunter would delve further into the clutches of madness. Confiding in his mentor, Fulgrim, the Primarch of the 3rd Legion would relay the Night Haunter's mad ravings to the Primarch of the Imperial Fists, Rogel Dorn.
Wait, Rogel Dorn's a good guy, right? He stays good. I actually already did a Rogel Dorn deep dive. That guy's cool.
At the slight made against his brethren and the Emperor, Dorn would confront KONRAD KURZE. Found unconscious, with deep gouges left in his torso, the Primarch of the 7th Legion would lay at the side of KONRAD KURZE. Weeping and racked with guilt, KURZE would be imprisoned for his assault of his brother.
Oh my god.
As the Primarchs discussed the means of how to deal with their brother.
Wait, so even before he fell into chaos, he was a psycho?
Night Haunter would escape his bonds and slay the Imperial Fist Huskarls stationed to guard his chambers. Escaping with his legion, the Night Haunter would travel to his homeworld to seek solace. Yet upon arrival to Nostramo, KONRAD KURZE's remaining sanity would break.
Oh shit.
During 984.M30, the Night Haunter would discover the fate of Nostramo.
Oh my god.
Once more corrupted by ceaseless crime, the vengeance of the Primarch of the 8th Legion would be unequivocally merciless.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, because obviously one of the major issues is if you become some sort of tyrannical dictator that's holding everything in place, once you leave, there's a power vacuum and everything goes to shit. But he doesn't seem like the kind of guy you want to piss off.
Firing laser bombardments into the rend in the planet's surface, originally made by the Primarch's gestation pod, Nostromo's molten core would detonate. With Imperial pursuit craft sent in the wake of Rogel Dorn's injuries, witnessing Nostromo's destruction, the depravity of the Night Haunter would soon be relayed to the Emperor.
Oh my god. He blew up his homeworld. That's horrible. Oh my god. Just a casual mass genocide because too many people were stealing shit.
Recalled to Holy Terror, KONRAD KURZE would answer for his crimes. Explaining to the Emperor that his actions were justified, KURZE would accuse the Imperium of hypocrisy in their own dealings of bringing worlds into compliance and utilizing exterminatus to any whom would deny the Imperial truth. His excuses would not satisfy the judgment of the Imperium, and as a result, the Imperium would deny the 8th Legion supplies to their dominions and banish them from the forefront of the Great Crusade.
Damn,
Yet despite his punishment, KURZE would seek vindication for his actions. And soon, an opportunity for revenge would present itself.
Oh damn, and he joins the Chaos Gods. Wow.
The Horus Heresy, perpetrated by the War Master of the Imperium, Horus Lupercal, would coincide with the prophesized visions of the Night Haunter. Believing his visions to be unchangeable, the Primarch of the 8th Legion would surrender all responsibility for his actions and side with the traitor war effort.
Honestly, that's such a cool perspective, right? Like, you know, if everything's fate anyway, what's the difference what he actually does?
Choosing to enact his vengeance against the Emperor, KONRAD KURZE would lead his men to the Battle of Isstvan V. Aiding the traitorous betrayal of the loyalist forces of the Iron Hands, Salamanders, and Raven Guard, the Night Lords would revel in their slaughter of the Imperium's noble sons.
Oh my god, that's horrible.
As the Night Lords butchered
terrible.
the loyalist Astartes.
It's not like it's so crazy because like when you look at like the other guys that corrupted, like Fulgrim or whatever, like he has like this evil blade. All right, he has people whispering in his ear. This dude was just a crazy fucking guy. That's wild.
Lorgar Aurelian, Primarch of the Wordbearers, would battle the Ravenlord of the 19th Legion. Besting the bearer of the word in combat, the Urizen's life would be spared by KURZE, who would duel his rival in darkness, Corvus Corax, in Lorgar's place. Their claws struck, and despite Corax's speed, the Night Haunter would grab his brother by the wrist.
Oh shit.
Escaping KURZE's grasp with the use of his jump packs, the Primarch of the Raven Guard would not risk dueling the Dark King of Nostramo.
Dude, this guy was crazy. He beat 2 Primarchs? Oh my god.
Death of the Gorgon and flight of the Ravenlord, KURZE would find a new subject for his depraved tortures and mutilations. The Primarch of the 18th Legion,
No.
Vulkan.
No!
Aboard his flagship, Nightfall.
Dude, this guy's crazy. Holy shit. Like, dude, the last Primarchs, they were kind of like, you know, diabolical or whatever. This dude is another level.
KURZE would attempt to break the will of the Primarch of the Salamanders. Finding the Primarch of the 18th to bear the gift of a perpetual, Vulkan's body, no matter...
Yeah, we didn't do Vulkan yet. A lot of people told me that we need to do Vulkan. I didn't do Vulkan yet. I'm going in order.
How many times it would perish, would rebuild itself and bring new life. Seeing an opportunity to torment his noble brother forevermore,
Oh god.
the Night Haunter would delight in slaying his defenseless brother time and again.
Bro.
For months, the Night Haunter would devise the means for the mutilation and execution of his brother.
Oh my god.
Sating his sadism with increasingly extravagant displays of torture until growing weary of his relentless returns. Tearing him limb from limb, riddling his body with bolter shells, and even disintegrating him within the ship's engine shafts.
Oh my
no
lord.
matter the cause of death, Vulkan would be resurrected. Unable to break the will of the Lord of Drakes,
God, what a
his
goat.
attempts to break Vulkan
Oh
with a
my
variety
God.
of methods would always fail.
This guy's crazy.
Devising a final trial to end the perpetual Primarch's resolve, KURZE would beseech the Primarch of the Iron Warriors, Perturabo, to construct a labyrinth to destroy Vulkan's resolve.
Yeah, right. I did that.
Teasing at the center
I did Perturabo.
of the labyrinth, Vulkan's personal warhammer, Dawnbringer, KURZE would not expect the Primarch of the Salamanders to reach his prize. Yet with tireless, unrelenting drive,
Bro, the goat.
Vulkan would reclaim Dawnbringer.
God damn!
The
Bro's like
Warhammer
the actual
had been
goat.
fitted with a secret teleporter within its construction, and after attempting to prevent Vulkan's escape, KURZE would be struck by Dawnbringer before Vulkan would activate its teleporter and
What's 40k about? Dude, I love when someone pops into my chat and just asks what it's about. Like, you could explain it. It's obviously the search for all 40,000 Warhammers that are scattered throughout the galaxy. We just found one.
escape to the Ultramar system. In the wake of the Night Haunter's ever-increasing distractions during the Traitor War effort, Warmaster Horus Lupercal would dispatch the Night Lords at the forefront of their push to Holy Terror, sending a message across the stars that any whom did not kneel would be gifted untold miseries.
God damn!
The Night Lords would enact the War Master's
Dude,
remorseless
these guys are
will.
horrible.
Harbingers of the traitor's bloodlust and cruelty, the Night Lords would for months be unopposed in their campaign of defilement.
Oh, these guys are crazy. Holy shit. First of all, awesome graphics, amazing design, obviously horrifying, but that's crazy. What happens when you get all 40,000 Warhammers? Well, then you find Space King, obviously.
Yet within the Thramas sector, the Night Lords would be halted by the First Legion, the Dark Angels. For 3 Terran Standard years, the First and 8th Legions would wage a bitter war.
Damn.
Nobility and discipline would face opprobrium
That's
and
crazy.
barbarity,
Oh god, the ultimate clash.
leading his
Nobility versus terror and brutality.
men during the Thramas Crusade. KURZE would delay the Dark Angels from interfering with the plots of the War Master. Under the command of their Primarch, Lionel Johnson, the First
the
Legion
goat.
would prove to be more than
Dude, I love Lionel Johnson, by the way. That dude's awesome. Purely noble. You know, like, that's a guy. He's a real guy, you know?
a match for the Night Lord's underhanded tactics and cunning. Attempting to sway the Lion to join the War Master's cause, KURZE would parley with the Lord of the First. On the planet of Sagwalza,
Nah, you got
the
this, Lion.
Primarchs would face each other.
You got this, Lion.
The Lion would reject the Night Haunter's offer and attempt to slay KURZE. The Lion Sword would clash against KURZE's Lightning Claws, Mercy, and Forgiveness. Two of the greatest duelists of the Primarchs would descend into brawling
damn.
as they disarmed and wounded one another.
Oh, shit.
Yet eventually,
No.
KURZE would gain the upper hand.
Bro, no
And
way.
ride the killing blow against the Lion. The Dark Angel's Seneschal, Corswain, would bury his sword in the back of the Night Haunter.
Right.
Both legions would
I actually vaguely remember this. I think I covered this briefly in the Lion deep dive.
reinforce the Primarch's positions and drag their wounded liege lords from the skirmish.
I mean, to be fair, you play shitty games, you get shitty prizes. You know, like, this dude is the most underhanded, diabolical piece of shit backstabber of all time. I fully support stabbing him in the back, actually.
Yet when the legions would clash again, the Dark Angels would prove to be the greater strategists. Ambushing the Night Lord's fleet, the Primarchs would once again duel. Slaying the Night Lord's elite Atramentar and destroying the 8th Legion's fleet, the Dark Angels would prove to be an indomitable foe.
Damn.
Yet the Night
Dark Angels.
Haunter would not be so easily slain and
course.
escape the Lion within his own
doesn't stop.
flagship.
I remember this! He was hiding in, like, the vent shafts of the actual Lion flagship for, like, months. They couldn't catch him in their own ship. He was scurrying around and killing their people.
For months, KONRAD KURZE would skulk the dark corners of the Dark
my
Angel's
God,
flagship,
that's horrifying.
Invincible Reason.
Look, dude, you understand? LeBron's like a literal rat. That's crazy. He was just scurrying around, killing their people in their own ship. Nah, this dude's crazy.
Cut off from the wider Imperium with the birth of the Ruinstorm, the First Legion would relocate their might to the burgeoning Imperium Secundus of Ultramar. The home system of the Ultramarines Primarch, Rabute Guilliman, Macragge would be the seat of power for the contingent new Imperium should the Emperor be slain by the War Master.
Damn.
Yet upon
I didn't know that they actually had a backup plan in case Horus wins. Holy schmorglets. That's crazy.
First Legion's arrival
Yeah, I need to do the Guilliman lore dive too. I didn't do his yet either.
to Macragge, KURZE would escape from the bowels of the Invincible Reason. Wreaking havoc among the populace of the Ultramarines' homeworld,
There is no way. There is no way this dude single-handedly is just fucking up this entire planet. This guy's crazy. This guy's crazy.
combined might of the Primarchs of the 1st, 13th, and newly arrived 9th Legions would hunt the Night Haunter. Primarch Rabute Guilliman of the Ultramarines would elect the Primarch of the Blood Angels, Sanguinius, as the Imperator Regis of their new contingent empire, with Lionel Johnson appointed as Lord Protector of the Imperium Secundus. It would be his duty to enforce the campaign to apprehend the Night Haunter. Despite the
It's crazy that this dude became like a planet-level threat, just single-handedly running through the sewers and fucking shanking people.
Angel's attempts to thwart the rampage of KONRAD KURZE, the Night Haunter would come close to crippling the Loyalist research of the Sofa device, ministered by the Imperial Fist Captain, Alexis Pollux. Confronted by Rabute Guilliman and the Lion within the Fortress of Hera, KURZE would detonate explosives concealed within the temple.
Dude's an actual terrorist.
Before dealing the killing blow, the Loyalist Primarchs would be rescued by the ministrations of the Loyalist Warsmith, Barabas Antioch, and Alexis Pollux, by once more utilizing the Sofa device. Unaware of their survival, KURZE would turn his attentions to add one final wound to the Ultramarines Primarch.
No.
Within the capital city of Macragge, the Night Haunter would attempt to slay Rabute Guilliman's adoptive mother,
What?
Tarasha Yuta.
Nah, this dude's crazy. Nah, that's too far. Why would you do this? Why would you do this? That's horrible. Oh my god.
Hindered by the Space Wolves, appointed to monitor the Ultramarines Primarch,
It doesn't stop.
KURZE would nonetheless seemingly be unopposed in slaying the mother of the Lord of Ultramar. Yet against the odds, the reborn Primarch of the Salamanders, Vulkan, would face KURZE.
Please win.
In spite of the
Please.
intervention of the perpetual John Grammaticus and KURZE's banishment into the Warp, the Night Haunter would not be denied so easily. Infiltrating the throne room of Macragge,
Oh, shit.
the Night Haunter would confront his vision-attuned brother, Sanguinius. Seeking answers for why the great angel
Everyone keeps telling me I need to do the Sanguinius video.
still remained loyal, Despite the visions that he had endured, KURZE would never understand.
Oh, Sanguinius also gets these future visions. But somehow he was strong enough to withstand it, unlike KONRAD, who just broke.
The loyalty he had shown the Emperor. Offering Sanguinius the chance to end his misery, the great angel would abstain from slaying his brother, and KURZE would escape once more into the dark corners of Macragge.
No!
With the return of Lionel Johnson
Bro.
and Rabute Gilliman, KURZE would finally be brought to justice.
Based.
Captured and brought before trial.
God damn, he fucking terrorized an entire planet. He terrorized a whole planet for months. Primarchs, like 5 Primarchs looking for him at all times. No, this dude is a demon!
To judge him for his crimes. The proceedings would be conducted by the Emperor of Imperium Secundus, Sanguinius. Admitting to his actions, KURZE would not accept any guilt for his misdeeds. Turning the Lion and Gilliman against one another due to the methods the Lord of the First had used to root out the Night Haunter, the Lords of Imperium Secundus would fracture. Dissolving their new Imperium, Gilliman and Sanguinius would in private decide to execute the Night Haunter, yet with the intervention of Lionel Johnson, stay their hand. Repeating KURZE's claim to observe his own death at the hands of an agent of the Emperor, the Lion would surmise that the Emperor still ruled Holy Terra. Hope.
Oh, so they thought that Terra might have fallen. That's why they established this Imperium Secundus. And because of the visions of KONRAD, it helped them realize that the Emperor was still in charge.
Burgeoned in the hearts of the Primarchs,
Cool.
and with Sanguinius' own visions of his death at the hands of the War Master, the Loyalists with KURZE in their custody would venture to breach the Ruinstorm. Chaining the Night Haunter within the bowels of the Invincible
No,
Reason.
I feel like they gotta get rid of this guy. Like, I'm not trying to be rude here or anything, but I really feel like they should just kind of get rid of him. I don't know why they're keeping him around, man. This dude's bad juju. Get him out, man.
The Lion would endure the
Deport.
taunts of his degenerate brother. Upon the world of Darwin, the Primarchs would drag KURZE to the temple, wherein the War Master had been first corrupted. With the eruption of demons from a portal within the temple, KURZE would once more be shackled within the Dark Angel's flagship as the Loyalists countered the demonic incursion. Finding a means to breach the storm, the Dark Angels and Ultramarines would buy time for Sanguinius and his Blood Angels to venture to Holy Terra. Taking custody of the Night Haunter, Sanguinius would bring to him the Emperor's judgment.
Oh, shit.
Yet once aboard the Red Tier, KURZE would be confined within a stasis coffin and jettisoned into space by the Great Angel.
No.
Sanguinius would
What?
tell the Night Haunter
No.
that, alike to himself, he must follow his own envisioned path.
Son of a bitch. There's no way, bro. This dude's a nightmare. He's a walking demon. Are you kidding me? Walk your path. What are we doing? Oh my god. Sanguinius, why are you like this?
Adrift for many years, KURZE would survive into the following millennia. The Horus Heresy would end, with the Emperor slaying the War Master, and
Wait,
the
so the
traitors
Horus Heresy ended while he was just in stasis flying through space?
scattering across the stars. Discovering the salvage ship, Sheldron, the stasis pod would unknowingly release the Night Haunter among their crew.
Great.
Assuming control of the vessel,
Of course.
KURZE would journey for 4 years once more to Sagwalza and reunite with his disparate gene sons. Reuniting his legion, KURZE would enshrine the Night Lord's base of operations upon the Carrion world.
Bro.
Accepting his prophesied fate, the Night Haunter would guide his legion on a path of self-sufficiency without his presence and await his killer. The Calidus assassin, M. Shen, would discover the Dark King upon his Carrion throne. Unguarded and with no obstacles preventing the assassin's path,
No shot.
the Godslayer would act. Slicing the Night Haunter's
No way.
head from his body.
You're a random assassin is the guy that ends up getting rid of this guy? After all those years and all those Primarchs and all those trials and executions, bro got game ended by an assassin of the Imperium? I mean, honestly, that's kind of based.
The torment of KONRAD KURZE had finally ended. Yet whispers across the galaxy persist that the spectre of death
He
shall
let himself get killed? Interesting.
one day return against all odds and records of his demise.
Yeah, I kind of have that feeling too. Not gonna lie.
For the shadow of the Night Haunter still stalks the galaxy, with the Night Lord's continued defilement of the Imperium in his name.
God damn.
By
That guy's
reason,
terrible.
by truth, I have learned how your hearts and minds function.
I don't like that at all.
With that lore, I brought peace to this culture.
At the cost of freedom, the Night Haunter drew in a slow breath through his knife-slit smile.
Peace reigns as I reign. I wouldn't expect your little minds to understand. You are a little man with little dreams.
You've ushered in the peace of the graveyard. The noble dared to take a step closer. Peace at the cost of surrendering all choice, all freedom. The city lives in terror, forced to live by the standards you place upon our shoulders.
Yes,
The Night Haunter replied.
Bro!
Yes.
No!
But every sin...
is punished.
God
The Night
damn.
Haunter listened to their hearts beat.
It's like, but we're not free. We're forced to sit in our houses in confine. Yes. Oh my god.
Beating blood through their bodies. But punishment by death, no matter the crime, no matter the scale of the sin, the people of the city live in silence, lest a single word earn them death for speaking out against you.
Yes.
The Night Haunter closed his dark eyes, as if listening to that very silence drifting across the city.
Oh, he saved them,
Listen.
guys.
Listen to the sound of raw silence. Is it not serene?
Yes. That's it? Holy crap.
This has been a tale of the great Imperium of Man, read by the Remembrancer.
Whew. Oh, of course, link this in the description. That was a banger video. Holy shit, dude. KONRAD KURZE might be one of the coolest villains, characters ever. He really is. This dude's lore was unbelievably, endlessly dark. Like, from the rising of the planet to the rebellion against the Imperium to fucking up McCrag, all the way to the very end, dude. This was actual cinema. Thank you so much for being here. Subscribe. We do all lore on this channel, all right? Every bit of lore will be consumed. Every bit of lore. And we'll see you in the next one. That's right. Bye. Like, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch. Stay weird, fam.